Welcome to Literally Lens Podcast. My camera lagged as soon as I did that, but whatever.
Perfect.
Who
You
needs
never
good?
get
You could just start over.
I could, but I'm not gonna.
Just take it back. Okay.
We
now-
had Fire Weekend.
Your
Fire
camera's
Weekend.
so fucked, dude.
It's so
no, your
fucked.
camera's so fucked. No, your camera's so fucked.
Hang
You can't.
on.
You have to actually start.
Oh no,
over.
it's Discord.
like
I can't.
20
No,
seconds
I
behind you.
can't fix it. It's Discord.
It's Discord.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's all I can do.
All right.
Discord's gonna fuck it all day.
All right. Never mind.
Well, moving on.
Feels bad.
We had GG versus TSM, EG versus FlyQuest.
No,
and
no.
then-
Whoa. We had
What?
We had GG versus Free SM. Continue.
Shut up. And then TSM dropped
GG
down to
versus-
losers to fight Dignitas, and EG dropped down to losers to fight 100 Thieves. But before we talk about the games, we are going to talk about why the fuck Caitlyn is so goddamn broken. Watching myself is going to take me all night, just saying.
Dude, I closed. I like minimized this. I can't. I can't look at you.
Hang on, the only
What
thing
the-
I can think to fix this is to
Don't worry
change
about it.
the region of the call.
I don't
I'm
want to start. Do
watching
you want to
us-
start? We would have.
We don't. We're good. Keep going. Yeah, that fixed it.
Nobody started, so who's going?
Why is Caitlyn so broken? Haymont, go.
Because Ezreal's no longer broken, and I don't know. Yeah, people are just building 3 BF sword items on her, mostly Infinity Edge, Storm Razor, and then something else. And then just headshots. That's it. But even honestly, I feel like she's a 50-50 because I feel like Ashe still deals with her very well, and Ashe is still meta and not bad into most AD carries. That's all. That's it.
I don't think Ashe is the answer. I think it's the support. I think the support options into her are, like, if you pick a good support into her, like if you have the Morgana that doesn't get paired up with her, or you ban out the Morgana, Caitlyn actually loses quite a lot of power in lane, because Caitlyn Morgana is basically just how you have to play that champion.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, well, I think Morgana's still not as strong as support. For lane, you can pick like a Karma as a bully, just to mess with the Morgana and to mess with the Caitlyn. It can put him down a decent
the
amount.
Karma's like fine into or Morgana's like fine into Karma though.
I don't
Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand the obsession that pros have with Karma. Karma doesn't feel that strong to me. Like, I guess she works good if you have an Olaf on the team, but besides that, you need
she's
really
good engaged, but she's
select
also really
parts.
good. Just like she's really good protection. She has the crowd control, which could potentially blow a flash rate. Like I don't think she's crazy. I just think she's like all around like decent enough that she sort of hangs out, right?
Yeah.
Um.
Because you can still like you can give an AoE shield to your team, like with an Anthems and Holy, you can give them a little bit of healing over the top there, or just
Yeah.
enhance the shit. It's just nice.
slow,
He's right.
root.
I will say,
It's-
on this patch, Caitlyn has 21 bans and 7 picks, and out of 6 of those 7 picks, it was against a Ashe. It was only the LPL where they played Callista against it and still lost. But everyone's running Fleet Footwork and then either Sorcery or Inspiration. And I'm assuming
That makes
Inspiration's
sense.
going Boots, Pots, and Sorcery's probably going Gathering Storm and whatever the
Summoner's Insight? Oh no, that's
no, whatever the one that is that's above 75%, you get extra AD, I think.
Oh, the one I thought you'd run the one around you on there, you get additional move speed.
Maybe that might be an option too.
Nimbus Cloak.
Yeah.
I thought Nimbus Cloak was your ult.
No, they changed it
Oh, okay.
because and that's why Darius is now a monster who I hate and will continue to hate for the rest of my life.
He's a fair and balanced.
Yeah, that's why he has so much move speed with just boots. Anyways, Caitlyn.
And without him.
I don't like that they buffed Caitlyn like just before playoffs, because it feels like it is entirely warped champion select around Caitlyn, and that's normally a bad thing. And a lot of teams are basically forced to ban it on red side, and if you don't ban Caitlyn, you have to ban Morgana, force them to pick Caitlyn, and then pick your counter matchup for bot lane right there. Otherwise, they'll just screw you. I have seen some teams trying to resort to Zyra Rakan instead of playing the Caitlyn game, which I think might be a viable option because I think they're probably the second best bot lane in the game after Morgana Caitlyn. But I still don't think I think the gap's actually pretty large between that. So I think opting to that is losing a lot of power instead of trying to grab Caitlyn, even with another support.
I think it's two different scenarios. You want the Caitlyn to dominate lane late game when you're trying to get objectives around there.
Good late game, though.
Yeah.
Like she was always really good late game, even when she wasn't oppressive early. I mean, she's always oppressive in like the sense that she has a lot of poke. But even if she wasn't like an early game fucking monster, she's still really fucking good late game.
Caitlyn's late game's obscene.
That's kind of her deal.
Protection. I've seen people trying to hold fucking Tom Kench with
her. Her whole deal is that she does insane amounts of damage if you let her auto attack like unimpeded, right? And she has such insane range that one defensive support or like defensive tank or jungler, you literally just get a bunch of free hits on people, and unless it's that like one tank meta where like literally nobody in the game do more than 2 damage per auto to a tank, you're gonna shred through anyone. Like she's just good. I mean, there are like so many games I've played on Caitlyn, and I'm not good at Caitlyn, where like, you kind of just do fine early game, and then late game you have like 3 items and you 2-hit the enemy AD carry if you have a headshot. Like they're just dead. It's stupid. It's really, really unbalanced. But that's why it's getting picked a lot.
Yep.
It's getting broken.
Okay.
You think they're gonna change it back? You think they're gonna nerf it?
I think they'll nerf her before Worlds, but who's to say exactly what they're gonna do? Okay, let's talk about. All right, I'm gonna leave. And you guys get to talk about GG versus Tia. No,
Nope. I cast reverse.
All right, EG versus FlyQuest.
Yeah. So anyway, tell me, Anthony, all about this.
You got to dip out on C9. I'm gonna dip out on this one.
Also, listen, if C9 take the L, I'll do it too. If C9 gets 3-0'd, I'll fucking do it too.
All right, actually, let's talk about our results in general. So, every single one of us got the Golden Guardians TSM game wrong, which I feel is proper evidence to say this was an absolute fluke and would never happen if we ran this back twice, right? Right?
Okay. Better hope, brother.
I'm gonna hope
we all agree.
TSM got some steam.
Not all of us agreed. We just said you better hope.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we all called the winner of the EG Fly match, and Haymant and Matt both called the series correctly at 3-2 for Fly. Then we did our mid-weekend picks that I posted on Twitter. I'm the only one who properly had faith in TSM to 3-0 Dignitas. I was sitting here for like 20 minutes debating whether or not I should say EG are going to 3-0 that matchup, and I regret every minute I didn't say yes.
Oh, man.
I would have so clean if I called both those series, but alas, I didn't. But we all called TSM, we all called EG, and I'm the only one who got the series perfectly right. All right.
Oh, EG. Oh yeah, EG got a 3-1. No, I swear they 3-0'd.
Yes, they 3-0'd.
Yes. Okay. All right. I don't know.
That's what I said. None of us got it right.
Yeah.
We got the winner right, but we didn't pick the series correctly. Okay.
But that's okay, because we don't count those.
No, that's a lot of work for me to figure out that mathematically. Okay.
That's too much work.
So, I guess you guys can talk about GG versus TSM now.
Monty, you rip it off the top.
So, everyone else not there. Double Lift especially was not there. They were just like maybe a 4v5, maybe a 3.5v5. Yergsen's trying to pull his shit as much as he can. Broken Blades like, oh, I got a lead, and then, oh man, I don't know where it went. and for some reason, they're taking down Haunter and giving up the Nexus. It was a messy series from TSM all across the board. And goddamn. When I mean Doublelift didn't show up, he was basically just out of a fight every single time. One Ziggs ult, and for some reason he can't figure out where the center of a circle is not.
Jesus.
It happened.
Christ. I know, that was just funny.
He has 10 grams of fat.
What if he has 10 grams of fat? That's a nutritious snack, son.
Uh-huh.
What is he eating? I can't even tell.
I'm just trying to read this instead of talking about this game.
Oh, okay. Well, what is it, dude? I'm curious. You piqued my interest.
Chips.
Because I'll be honest, Anthony, I don't even want to talk about this game. It was one of those games, one of those series that was just such a foregone conclusion from the moment they loaded in. It's not even interesting. It's just like one team playing better on every single level than in the other one. It's just a full 3-0
All right, you got it. Okay, all right, you got it. You know what? I'm gonna give you a piece of my goddamn mind. You know what, TSM? Why the fuck are we picking set mid? I don't care what you did in the next series. Why the fuck are we picking it here? This made no sense. Why do you pick set mid with fucking Nidalee jungle? You have nothing. You have no late game. You have no team fight because you put fucking Broken Blade on Gangplank. Ah!
I knew I could bait you into talking shit.
Oh, man.
Easiest play of my life, by the way. Yeah, the set pick was weird.
And they just like
there was a lot of weird shit from TSM this game. Yeah, keep going. You got it. Sorry.
They just like it. It's like Bjerg he's got some good engages in like the late game with set, but that's not where you're looking for those. You need those in the early game.
You got to get to the. It kind of felt like at a point they just like weren't respecting GG, and then all of a sudden they had to.
It was like in the third game.
Really bounce back in time.
Yeah, and then in the third game they were just kind of like, all right, we will give you more than enough respect, which was also a bit too far. Just a bit. Especially when you have that early game comp, because you're piling the set mid there, alright?
That set mid was a fucking call, by the way.
It was. My goodness.
So,
and then, what was it?
It was a fairly uneventful early game, though, game 3. Like, literally there was no... I think it was, like, post 16 or 17 before the first blood. Which is kind of nuts for an LCS game these days. I think the first blood was in the mid fight.
So, game 3 is honestly the biggest, like, what the fuck is going on. And to be honest, I don't even consider game 2 an actual loss for TSM, because the only reason they lost was because of a backdoor triple teleport. Like, it's such a fucking out of nowhere play that you can't read that shit. They just run in, tank the fucking turret.
That was a really proactive play.
And it's just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? It's just over. The game was just over, and there was no way that any team was going to see that. Yeah, okay,
you can't recall, you can't make it there. They didn't clear the base first before going for the dragon.
It was all the way over by fucking, like, the gate on top side. Like, who the fuck checks there when you lost bot in him?
You know?
Yeah, it was like a really, like, 5-head placement.
From GG.
Yeah.
It just masterminded.
No, it was a really good ward. It was like a really good ward.
But there was no way TSM would ever fucking bother to check that.
Well, no, that's why I'm saying you're right. Like, that spot gets checked like 0 out of 10 times, right? Because it's just like, well, what would we even do with that?
When the fuck did they go there to put the ward down?
I honestly don't even know.
Oh, man.
So yeah, fuck you, TSM, and thanks for losing those 3 matches spectacularly. Doublelift, I hope they can dock your pay.
Jesus Christ. He's coming out swinging.
I watched an interview with him and Travis earlier today, and he's just like, thank you, Dignitas, for saving my career, and I'm just like, nah, man, it ain't saved yet.
Oh yeah, that was the title right there. Loses bracket may have saved my career. Right there.
Alright, you want to talk about a much more interesting series with EG versus FlyQuest?
This one looked like it was just FlyQuest favored until it was not. And then it got scary. It was. It
Oh,
was
it got
straight.
really scary. So FlyQuest go up 2-0 in this series. And I'm just thinking, damn, they're about to 3-0. I'm about to eat my words. Then Evil Geniuses come back and just start smacking fools. And I'm just like, hell yeah. Haymont gets to eat some a little bit. And then Game 5 happens and I'm just like, what the hell, man? Come on. Why you gotta do me like that?
Do you know what was the crazy part about that series?
You actually thought you were going to lose?
No. It wasn't even like FlyQuest got like discernibly worse during that series. It felt like EG made the collective effort to be like, all right, Hooney's not going to be playing Hecarim this game, and we're just going to get our macro together. I don't know what happened. Like Spence Garrett just grabbed them all by the balls and were like, we're going to win this or something, like some shit like that. Their macro just got so much better in the course of those games 3 and 4. And I have no clue how that happened.
Hooney's Hecarim kind of picked up, especially in EG's second series, though I would argue that is a much weaker opponent compared to FlyQuest. But
yes.
I'm not totally sold on his Hecarim off of these FlyQuest games, but it's definitely, like, I can see some potential there. But Hooney just seems to be such a wild card. Like we always say he is, that I don't know who the fuck to make this man play. Like, who do I give you to make you consistent? And it's clearly not Gangplank either.
No, I don't know. Hopefully he flicked on a playoffs buff or something, because him and Golden Glue were running that game with LeBlanc Shen. They were really doing it, and he managed to bait Solo into a very good 3-man gank.
I don't know why we aren't seeing a shitload more Shen. Did they ban Shen in Game 5? No, they didn't. I think Shen should have, like, absolute priority in top lane. I don't feel like he has a lot of strong counter picks, and I feel like he counters a lot of top laners. His best counter pick is Mordekaiser. Like, that's in the meta. Because Mordekaiser can still pop his passive, even if he auto-attacks while Shen's W is on. So he can still do good damage, because his auto-attacks aren't really that much damage. But I don't think it should matter. You should be able to beat Mordekaiser with that, because you could just build what is it? Not Abyssal Mask, Adaptive Helm.
Spirit Visage. Adaptive Helm. Oh, yeah, Adaptive Helm. Spirit of Visage. I always get that item wrong.
Yes.
So, as always, I'm conflicted with Hooney, because he has these moments where he looks really, really good, but then he also has all these other moments where I'm absolutely baffled as to how the hell he's held his spot in the LCS for this long. Like, does he just go crazy in scrims? Like, I don't get it.
But also, like, does it matter if you go crazy in scrims if you never pull it out on stage?
Apparently it matters more now, because these are closer to scrims or something. I don't know. I haven't seen a big difference in all these players, because Golden Glue's still not, like, smacking fools like I keep hearing. I just... Look, they lost to AP Kog'Maw mid lane. When you lose to AP Kog'Maw mid lane, you know you're a bad team. Just saying.
No. I'm going to put that on Ignar going crazy there. Because he made some... It's maybe a little bit of column A, maybe a little bit of column B, but Ignar gave PoE that early game, which he had no right getting before. He hand-fed him. You saw it. You saw him just hook Golden Glue over a wall, and it was just gone from there.
Yes.
Right in the mid lane at, like, what is it? Not even like the first 5 minutes. It was very good.
All right. Let's talk about something that I actually enjoyed. TSM versus Dignitas.
Oh, man. Instead of getting swept, they did the sweeping.
Oh, it was so good. They actually got to play some League of Legends. Doublelift did not look like a pair of shackles on Bjergsen's ankles trying to pull him down.
He's not wrong.
It was just so much cleaner, and Doublelift actually looked like somebody who had hands. Bjergsen,
just utterly brutal, by the way.
Looks like the madman I know he is, and the MVP who he truly is deep down in my heart. Though I have my doubts for him winning MVP this split, but we will find out in a couple of weeks.
I wonder why you have those doubts.
It's because people want to give it to Court JJ, because of course they do. Because they can't give it to Bjergsen because he's won too many. But I digress. They just actually played League of Legends, and Dignitas had no idea how to play League of Legends. It was so clean. It was so much better. You know, I feel like the whole series is exemplified by that one play at Dragon, where TSM take Dragon, win a fight for one person, and then somehow Dignitas is trapped inside of TSM's jungle, while TSM sits there in the river, waits for Bjergsen to back and ult back in on Twisted Fate, and it's just like... So they got to sit here for 20 seconds and wait until Bjergsen got his back off. Like, what? That'll never happen in another game ever again. Mark my words. You will never see that shit in the LCS. You'd never see that in like fucking LPL or LCK. Everyone's too antsy in the LPL. They would all just go in after it's 5v4. They know they have the man advantage and they just go for it. They're just hoping Bjergsen gets back before the fight's over. What'd you guys think of that play? I thought that play was beautiful. I loved watching that play. Watching Dignitas get dismantled.
It was a really good play. It was good. Honestly, like, even though I was shitting on you, it's not, like, extremely fun to see TSM, who's, like, a top-tier team, play, like, absolute dog shit in the first series, so it was fun to see them come back a little bit in the second. Right? It was nice.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is probably one of the most disciplined plays I've ever seen, because they knew that they could sit there and hold them and they wouldn't be able to get out, and any other team would have just tried to 5-man it without even bothering for the back. Like that, it just takes so much discipline and like, okay, slow it down. We have the advantage. They're stuck there. They have no summoner spells. Fucking Afro Mew is stuck in Dragon Pit.
Uh-huh.
I would have gone in for Afro Moo. I wouldn't have been able to hold off. I'd been like, hell, he can't. He's done. He's stuck there. He has to flash or die. And I would have blown that flash and probably died for it. But, so good. Hey, how you feeling about this series?
I did like that TSM actually got Dignitas out of there. I was hoping Dig would actually put up some resistance, though. Like, I would hope that Dignitas would have had, like, some very good semblance of competence so that this could be a competitive series, but you can't get everything that you hope for, right?
Yeah.
Especially when Dignitas was like playing spoilers some weekends over the split.
They looked like they kind of had an upswing towards the end of the split, but it wasn't enough. I don't think anybody really had thought they were going to be able to make a good run into playoffs off of that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lines from the post-game thread was TSM got to disagree with Dardoch's jungle playstyle one last time.
That's really funny. That's like actually quite funny.
Is this the end of Dardoch?
I don't know.
Probably. I think he's got another split in him.
Do you want to do our goodbye to Dignitas here before we talk about EG vs 100?
Yeah.
All right. So, let's go look at their roster right now and see who they have.
Cody-san, Afro-Moo. Cody-san, Afro-Moo. Who's in mid lane? Phoenix. And Dardoch, and currently Viper in the top lane.
Getting to Dignitas's wiki page is a bitch because it keeps linking me to a suicide center in Switzerland.
I told you what the roster was. Viper in the top lane, Dardoch in the jungle, Phoenix in the mid.
Dignitas has this unfortunate issue where if you search Dignitas, you not only get the team, but you get a suicide center in Switzerland.
Huh. Sometimes you need the help.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's real unfortunate.
No, it's for the players.
Jesus Christ.
Haymant! I'm the one who makes the obtuse jokes in this show. You're here for the outlandish picks, I'm the obtuse jokes, and Matt's here for the reactions.
Jesus Christ.
And he also baits me.
It wasn't even funny, Haymant. It was just shitty.
It was really bad.
It's just like a bad thing to say.
Where is Dig Academy?
You fucked up.
Okay. This is what I wanted.
I
wanted to see their full team. Alright!
Haymant's off this show, boys.
Oh boy.
Oh, damn.
So, Dignitas have been jumping between Viper and Lorlo in the top lane, Acadian and Dardoch in the jungle, Froggen and Phoenix in mid lane, and the only, like, stable part of their team has been Johnson and Afromo. And I think that has been, like, their brightest spot, but it hasn't been that bright of a spot. It's been pretty okay, to be honest. But I wouldn't call it great or good. I would just call it okay.
I don't know. I'm a bit confused about the Lorlo and Viper situation because I always feel like Lorlo plays a bit more for the team, and he actually does do pretty good. It's just that it doesn't seem like he can play carries to that level that Dignitas might want. So Viper's in over him. That's the only reason I see him there. And Phoenix is, well, he just looks better than Froggen right now.
I don't
That's
know
all.
why Viper's getting, I don't know why this team can't find a top laner that's better than Viper or Lorlo. I feel like there's got to be a bunch of them, and they should have probably taken a shot at Kumo, who's been benched the whole split base. Well, I should say half the split because of Huni coming in. But like, I just don't get it. They had Huni, and they gave him up to evil geniuses. Well, I shouldn't say that, because what they did was they had to axe his contract because it was too expensive for the results they were getting. So then he got picked up by evil geniuses. But like, what? Did you not see this becoming a problem for you? They clearly had no plan. And I'm just like, I don't even know if it's worth it to build around this team's bot lane. But looking at all the other two teams who also probably need to blow up their roster, I don't know who the hell you're going to get to put in this roster. Because you got three teams whose rosters have all crumbled to dust. And it's like, well, what do you do with this? You don't have any stable pieces. You had to swap out half your roster this split. Like, what are you doing?
I really don't think you have high expectations, even come next year. I think you tried.
Sure do not.
I think you try to wait it out and really invest in finding some talents elsewhere, or just really invest in trying to find some talent elsewhere. Whether it's in the academy, whether it's in another amateur series, that's going on.
I think it's just worth it to start fielding a full team of rookies and being like, well, they're like a fifth the cost of all the pros that were or the veterans that we were looking at. And they'll probably get us the same results anyways, so why don't we go with this? Like, I don't know why this isn't a more viable option for some people.
I don't even think you need to like blow up the whole roster. I still think that Johnson's still good, and Afro, sometimes he's on, sometimes he's off. This split he's been pretty consistent, which I'm happy to see. Last split not so much. But you really need to hit like one pot of gold. Like, you really need to hit either an amazing mid laner
they need
or
way
an
more
amazing
than
top
one
lane.
piece, dude. Like, even if they catch the crazy mid laner, like, maybe you're right that these like Johnson. I don't hate Johnson. I don't hate Afro, right? But like, you can have a crazy mid laner, but if you don't have a jungler or a top laner that's performing, consistently at the standards you would hope for, then that mid laner is not just going to be able to like automatically carry you for free, right? Because that mid laner has to fight like really good 5-man teams.
I feel like you're calling a team out here, dude, but okay.
Who, me?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know who I'm calling. I actually have no idea what you're referencing.
Nothing.
Make it explicit.
Never mind. No.
Make it explicit.
You're trying to call out TSM, right? I see it.
No,
somehow
he's a good player.
He's been traumatized.
That was so fun. I actually don't hate TSM's team, to be honest. I think their lineup's fine.
Just don't put BB on fucking Gangplank. It'll be fine. This is about
Put him only on Gangplank.
Dignitas.
3 straight L's of Gangplank. 3 straight Gangplank next series. 3 straight planks.
Gang plank.
3 straight plank. Just plank on plank on plank.
Planks.
Who's the coaches? Planks. Okay, they have ThinkCard, who I don't think is actually Dignitas's coach anymore. I don't know. I haven't heard much about the coaching staff at Dignitas, which, to be honest, is probably a different problem. Well, I shouldn't say a different problem. It's probably another problem.
I think the assistant coach was FlyQuest's former head, Invert. I may be. I want to say.
Let me see. I'm looking at the contract database.
I'll invert. Something.
What?
I don't know. I couldn't think of a funny joke.
Assistant coach Artemis.
Taking too long.
Am I wrong about this? I may be wrong about this. I always thought
North America. Dignitas. They have Invert, ThinkCard, and Durek as their academy coach. They're all contracted. Well, the LCS coaches are contracted until next year. Most of this team is contracted until next year, except for Viper and Dardoch. What do we think about Dardoch coming back? Yay or I shouldn't say yay. No. Yes or no? Do you think they're going to keep him?
Who?
Dardoch. Is Dignitas going to keep Dardoch?
Oh, it depends upon who goes free agent, right?
If
nothing better comes up, why would they get rid of him? Right?
Yeah.
But, I think it depends.
I mean, they have Acadian. Who else looks like they might become available? Let me see. Who's available in 2020?
Me? I'm going pro, fellas. Ezreal jungle only, boys.
Ezreal jungle only.
Easy games.
I'm not seeing anything big coming out in the jungle. Brox is only contracted until November. That's interesting. Honestly, they could take a shot at Broxa if he doesn't re-up early. But I feel like that's their only target that'll become available.
No, if Brox is going anywhere, he's probably going to go back to EU. Not for like any flame or anything, but probably just because he could still get signed by a decent team there.
I would
agree. Which is actually most of their teams.
Most of their teams. They only have 4 spots for. Only 40% of the league gets to go to Worlds in EU. Haymant, just saying.
But all of their teams still look pretty good.
Do they? I've heard a lot of conflicting things about EU. Some of the teams just seem like they throw shit against the wall, and sometimes it sticks.
There's like 2 who do that, and then everyone else is pretty.
Yeah, one of them's fucking G2.
This is not an EU podcast.
Else. That's true.
But where the hell else are Dignitas going to find players right now? Because it doesn't look like they have a team that can replace them. And unless they're just going to sign some hot shots off of solo queue, which I would love. I think that would be hilarious to see. Because if they ever won a game, it would be the funniest shit I've ever seen in the LCS.
Pick up pubs. Pick up pubs.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. Pubs.
Pick up
pubs. All right, everybody, we're gonna go pick up some pubs. We're investing in bars.
Pick up bars. No, just to get a good pug player in there. I'll be happy.
This team baffles me. I think you can keep the bot lane. The rest of the team has to get shaken up. I don't think Froggen's good enough. I don't think Phoenix is good enough. He's only good at a few picks. He's got Nazir. That's it. I haven't seen an Aurelion Soul all split, so clearly that's out of the freaking the playbook. So, come on. Think of something. All right, you want to talk about EG versus 100 Thieves?
Someday sad. That's the summary of this.
That's the summary of Sunday's career in NA.
Unfortunate. I really want him to get a better team.
He had a decent team, and then they kept shooting it in the foot.
Yeah. The first iteration of 100 Thieves when he was there would have done it. And then they decided we're going to blow it up. And then it got back together. And then it wasn't as good.
And then they blew it up again.
Yep. But like, someday... Oh, man, it didn't like. I didn't watch thoroughly for the third game, but like the first two games when he was on Renekton, he got his lead in the first game. His second game, even being behind on Renekton, he still looked like he was trying to put in work, like he was actually like in some of the right places at the right time to find some good stuff. And then it just never manifested into anything. It seemed like Cody-san was just not. He didn't have his head in the game either. Him and Doublelift were apparently in the same place at that time.
Well, wait. This game happened after Doublelift had had his second series and actually showed up to work.
Sometimes time paradoxes can happen across series.
I feel like one of the bigger issues was how awful Poom was playing this series for 100 Thieves. He went 3-23-6. He had a .4 KDA. .4! That is a crazy bad KDA.
The Tom Kench can't save anyone if he can't save himself.
Yeah, that's how you play that. You target the Tom Kench. Is exactly how you do it.
And that's what they did, and it worked very well for EG.
100 Thieves tried to counterpick EG's Tom Kench with Blitzcrank in Game 2, and I'm just like, this might actually pan out. Nope. Just nope. Big old fucking
It almost did. There was one time I saw Zazel slip up. Then never again. That was it.
It was the longest game. I think this might be the longest game of the weekend at 47 minutes, which is a long fucking game in the current state of things. But like, when you go to 47 minutes, with Renekton, Nidalee, and Blitzcrank, who are all early game champions, you've lost all of your power, and the enemy team with a Shen gets to do whatever they want.
Yep.
So it's like, what were you thinking? Trying to go late with this? They really needed to make more plays. I know, right? Thinking in an LCS match could never be NA.
Could never be NA ever, brother.
I don't know. It felt like 100 Thieves just wasn't able to find any actual steam. It felt like EG, since the FlyQuest series, figured out how to play proactively and keep it going all the time. Just keep it rolling. And it's been very good for them.
Keep it rolling.
Yeah, that was a straight 3.
I want to know why they think Renekton is this hot a pick. Because Renekton is heavily counterpickable. He isn't like an unbeatable top laner. He isn't a safe top laner. He doesn't have a late game assurance. He has early game and mid game, and then he falls off if you don't have 1 billion gold. Like, you needed to put so many resources into Renekton, and you needed to win early and mid game to make him relevant late game. That's the only way that happens. And if you've won early and mid game, you haven't closed the game out by late game, you have other problems with your team, and you probably haven't gotten Renekton a lot of gold. And he really didn't have the gold these games. And they're still so tunneled in on it. Like, he must have smashed so many scrims with this pick. Or they got smashed in so many scrims. That it just doesn't... I play so much Renekton, and I know that he isn't that good to blind pick. And I'm pretty good at him. I blind pick him all the time because I'll just run kids who don't understand that Renekton's a monster, and you gotta watch out for the Rage Bar. The Rage Bar's crazy. Watch it.
The Rage Bar does actually do a lot of work.
Yep. I don't know. It's supposed to bully the Shen, but Shen right now
it's not supposed to bully Shen.
Shen
counters him. You can't stun Shen because the W blocks the stun.
Correct, because the stun is an auto attack, Haymant.
I know, it's 3 autos. But I don't know, it's supposed to bully the Shen. That's all I can think of. And that's if it's not able to bully it.
If that's all you can think of, it's a problem because it doesn't fucking work. It doesn't win that matchup off rip.
Who played the Renekton that I liked? Because one person played Renekton this weekend that I thought was really bullying.
I've never seen a Renekton I like. Fuck that. All my homies hate Renekton.
All my homies hate Renekton. How could you say this about me? Because
when I was watching... Friends. That's where you're confused.
Wow! He was actually, like, dealing damage. I think it was Viper. I think Viper might have actually been able to do damage with it, but who knows? Mm-hmm. But he played... Yeah, Shen just counters it so hard. Because when you're dueling Shen, you can't blow your W. You gotta blow your W before he gets his W off, or you have to hold it for when the W ends. And if you hold it for when the W ends, you might get taunted and you might not get it off and you might get out. So it's like, it's so delicate. Oh, I think it was it Solo? I think it was Solo who was doing pretty good with it. Just, it's so
I'm not sure Solo picked or Renekton. Actually, he might have.
He did against EG. It's so... It's just so baffling to me why they do all these stupid picks. Why do you pick BB Gangplank? Why do you pick Renekton Blind first pick? You first pick this. You don't go for Caitlyn, you go for Renekton. Oh my god, so many bad picks. Why are we picking Set for fucking Bjergsen? Why? Why? Oh my god. Watching him just run through fucking Dignitas with that pick just made me feel like you could do so much better with any other champion. It was good, but like, come on. It's not that good a pick. Set mid does not feel that strong. Alright.
It really doesn't.
Let's say goodbye to 100 Thieves. And let's talk about their future options in the league at the moment. I think they have a much better core and a lot better players than basically all the other teams you talked about dropping out or getting dropped out of the world contention so far. So right now they have on their main roster, who I don't know if they have changed this roster at all this split. I don't think they have. Sunday contracts Ryoma, Cody Sun, and Poom. I think the spots where they really should look at changing is probably jungle, mid, and support. Their AD carry and top lane positions seem like they're pretty. They're able to contend, but it doesn't seem like the other three spots are up to snuff. Where's one of these? Oh yeah, they swapped out Stunt for Poom and Meteos for contracts this split. And Meteos is not contracted with them anymore. I will laugh if Meteos gets re-signed to them next split. That will be the funniest thing I've ever seen. And I'm gonna make a pool for when Meteos gets fucking fired again.
It's pretty funny.
He's on 100 Thieves Academy right now. If it's Kanavi, that would be crazy.
Kenvi?
Oh no, it's Kenvi.
Kanavi?
Okay.
Kanavi, I
My
think
bad.
You're confusing him with a LCK player.
Okay, probably.
Entirely possible.
So
the
other thing about 100 Thieves is they have 100 Thieves Next, which is their like under 17 roster basically. I think TSM has a roster like this. I forget what other orgs do, but they've actually been having a lot of success with 100 Thieves Next. They brought up Poom from 100 Thieves Next. I think he joined them like a year ago, and he's only been playing League for 2 years, which is just kind of baffling to me.
No, he got brought up in 3 months.
Oh, from signing?
He got a record story where he went from being from 100 Thieves Next to 100 Thieves Academy to 100 Thieves LCS, which was crazy.
So I think that 100 Thieves could probably start trying to upgrade themselves from within like that, but I'm not totally sold on if it's gonna work out.
I mean, it'd be worth a shot. If you saw the GBay99 video on NA Prospects, Envy was one of the people who was featured in there.
He overhypes them so much in that video. I'm just sitting here just like, dude, you have no idea what a proposition looks like right now. We haven't even like seen these propositions grow up even once. Poom, I think, is the only person that has gone from that kind of a system that we have at the moment. And did you see him play this playoff series? Like, it's a big yikes.
Yeah. I'd give him, since he did come into this roster a bit later, and because he is such a new prospect, I think I'd give him one more split. What the? Okay, I'm sorry. I think... No. It was that bug I asked you to get rid of, Anthony. It showed up.
I thought you just, like, lagged out. I was like, what happened?
No, that was a different sort of lag.
That was some brain lag.
Anyhow.
Yeah, that was just yeah.
Okay. So I'd give him one more split to actually show whether or not he is capable of being there. He is supposed to be the voice for 100 Thieves. He's supposed to be very vocal. That's what he's supposed to bring to the table. And it was supposed to be him in contracts. I don't know how the roster will be affected if you disband those two, contracts and Poom, but it's I'd give it a shot. I'd try it.
I think compared to a lot of the other teams in the LCS who don't have this system, they're in a much better position because they're getting better support, like, for their players. They're getting them more acclimated to the systems earlier, so they don't have to teach them how to be a player in the organization when they join the starting roster. They get to teach them the current meta, the current strategies, and the current pressure points that they're looking for. Matt, what do you think of 100 Thieves next year? What do you think that they need to go for? What they're going to go for?
That's Okay. I have no idea what they're gonna do.
What do you think they should do then?
Because 100 Thieves has consistently done things I never would have expected. Let me pull up their roster because I did just fucking hard blank, even though I listened to you guys talk about this, and then instead of retaining any of the information,
you're just thinking about Monkey
I simply
Ball.
didn't. No, because then I'd be shouting. Don't be stupid. Don't be a fool. Okay. I think that, I don't really get their mid lane. Like, they're fine, but they're not, as good as they could be, I guess. And, I don't know.
He's an import. Like, he's taking up an import slot.
Which one?
Ryoma.
Ryoma?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, they also have, Soligo.
I'm pretty sure Soligo...
I believe he's on the academy team.
He is on academy.
No, but I was asking if he was, import.
No.
I just spilled water all over my legs. I don't know, dude. I'm looking at this team, and I just don't even understand. I think that they are, a solid middle-of-the-pack team. And probably, if they kept this roster, they could maintain a middle-of-the-pack status fairly easily. But the problem with that is this team doesn't seem to me to be one that's got, a lot of potential for, bounding really high up the ladder, basically. And that they need to maybe make, a few sort of, well-intentioned sort of upgrades player-wise. And I think they're basically, any role could probably do that, and if they fucking maxed out two of their roles, they'd probably be a much better contender.
I'm wondering why we're keeping an import slot for this mediocre mid laner who doesn't seem like he has a lot more to show us, and it just seems like why is he here? Why don't we run without that taking up this import slot, or using a better player for this import slot? We aren't putting in Core JJ here. We're putting in Ryoma, who is from the OCE, and the only good OCE player that we've seen is FBI, who is looking like the best AD carry of this split, but Ryoma doesn't look like the best mid laner this split. I don't think you're gonna find consistently amazing players like FBI from OCE. And there has to be a time when you say, okay, this didn't work out, he isn't developing quickly enough, and he probably has too low of a ceiling, we need to find another option. But he's contracted until 2022, which means that they have to they have to either trade him or demote him or somehow cancel this contract. Because, to be honest, I don't think you're going to get any higher with him next year. You either need to get the best jungler you possibly could in Broxa, or you need to get another mid laner who's actually gonna play the game for you. I feel bad for Someday watching him play with this team. They just seem to drag him down all the time, and if Someday was on Team Liquid or TSM, they'd probably be smashing. Imagine fucking Someday on TSM. Oh, that would be so much fun. When Someday's contract expire?
Then you could get someone who could actually play Gangplank.
Damn it, he's contracted till 2022. God damn it!
They're not letting go someday. He's a lot of the pull to 100 Thieves right now. If you think about player-wise, yeah.
Yeah, there's no way that he's getting dropped.
Mm-hmm.
I just want an amazing top laner who can play Gangplank. That's all I want.
Oh,
or we
man.
could just stop picking Gangplank. That would work too. Alright. We've said our goodbyes to the teams that are leaving. Now, let's move on to talking about next week. Change this to our picks for next week, but bam! We got the cowards saying that C9 is not about to 3-0 FlyQuest. In fact, Haymant has said FlyQuest is going to win. Haymant, why is FlyQuest going to win?
Because they're fly, it's in the name. You can always get above a cloud anyhow.
Go fuck yourself. Dude, I'm just so angry at you tonight. You're only bringing shit.
I would have taken the fact that they give so much to charity, it's time for C9 to give a little back. I'd have taken that line.
That would have been a good joke, though. But that would have been a good joke.
I know, and he didn't go for it. Now, Haymont also thinks that TL is going to 3-0 Golden Guardians. Now, that is another bold statement. Why do you think Golden Guardians is going to fail so hard against TL?
Because TL's been one of the teams where they've had a consistent game plan and they know how to execute on it. Just pick a scaling comp and go. You'll beat them in the late game. You know how to skirmish. You can figure that out. Also, Golden Guardians might have shown their hand, I'd say maybe a little bit too early with the Ziggs. I feel like keeping that Ziggs a little bit quieter on would have helped them out a little bit later in the series, even though I do like that Ziggs pick in particular because it fits into their playstyle very well.
When else would you pull that out, though? If they didn't pull it out on TSM, they'd be in loser's bracket.
That's a fair point. That's an interesting point. I think that you'd at least maybe wait a game or something, but I don't know. I didn't think you didn't have to bring it out right then.
All right, so.
I didn't elaborate on the FlyQuest one. Well, for the FlyQuest one,
we're gonna talk about them more in depth individually in a second. But what matchups are we looking forward to? The matchups can be role to role or player to player.
Debatably, these would be the two best bot lanes in the league right now. Between
TL and GG?
Yeah. FBI has been flying underneath the radar, but Hui's actually been one of the people who's been helping him along there. It's not as if he hasn't been pulling his weight. He actually looks like a good support right now.
No, I said just to be an asshole.
So now you're having them versus Sven and Vulcan, and even though, first of all, Vulcan's had some picks where he doesn't look so hot on, but he's still a very good support all around. His Nautilus I'd take. I'm trying to think of his other signature picks right now, but for some reason I can't think of them. His Leona I think I'd still take anyway. His Bard's one of the ones that I don't like his Bard. I haven't seen it in a while, but hopefully he's practiced it up so that it's at a good level. And Sven was last split's best AD carry. Actually, everyone on C9 was the best for their role. They were the old pro team last split. So it's not as if I think Sven's all of a sudden dropped down to being a very mediocre level or just being bad. I feel like it's all mostly macro issues, some stupid mistakes that they've been making during the game that they just had to iron out, and we'll see whether their bot lane can do a regular 2v2, as I think they should be able to. And then across the board, whether Licorice has been up to his game, whether Niski has gotten above par.
This is supposed to be about one role or players that you want to see the matchup of, not the game analysis.
Okay, my bad. All right, to sum it up, I just want to see how the bot lanes do.
All right, what I'm looking forward to, I think, is probably. I don't know. I think I'm looking forward to watching. I don't know. 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 I'm looking forward to watch just a lot of the mid laners match up. I feel like it's gonna showcase a lot about the mid meta being rather open right now. How we're gonna see a lot of crazy shit. Like you already said, there's a Ziggs pick coming out, and I feel like we're gonna get a lot of that between Demonte and Jensen. I feel like we might see something crazy. Like Demonte might just pull something wild out. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing. I don't know. The top meta has been a little crazy recently, and I don't understand why we haven't focused in on Shen yet. And I think if everyone focuses in on Shen more, tops can become so much more fun. And I know it's like Shen's kind of boring. No. Shen is amazing. Shen has so much macro and so much dueling in his kit now that it's so fun to fight with Shen. So just top lane in general. I want to see Hanser play more as Shen though. I think the GG versus Team Liquid matchup I'm much more excited for than the C9 versus FlyQuest matchup because as my prediction says, I think it's a 3-0 easy clap for C9. I just don't see FlyQuest putting up much of a big fight against them. We are quite differently divided on these matches. It's like an entire spectrum cross from when you look at the board.
I want to say something.
You got it, Haymant.
Just as a quick question, what do you think of the top lane matchup? Because Impact's been famous for his playoff buffs.
I mean, I think it's always a good challenge to fight against Impact in playoffs. But Hanser's done it a million times, and they almost came out on top some of those times. So I'm looking forward to watching Hanser and Impact go at it again. Wait a minute, I feel like that Hanser and Impact have played while Impact was on C9 and they won. So, I think he can do it. I think Golden Guardians definitely have a shot against TL. And I feel like top lane's a big part of that. Matt, what role or player-to-player matchup are you looking forward to?
None of them.
None of them?
I don't know. Let's. Am I allowed to repeat ones or?
I guess.
Well, I would have very few options if I wasn't. So this is in the general previews. Are we? Do you want me to talk both or just one?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
For the next games. I thought you were asking me for like a lane matchup, but I didn't know if you were asking me about
you can give a lane
games.
matchup or a couple of players matching up.
Okay. Sorry, I was just confused because I'm an idiot. I am looking forward to Hanser Impact. I think it'll be fine because I think they're both good. I'm excited for the a few of the matchups. I do like to watch the FlyQuest bot lane fight the C9 bot lane. I tend to think that that's a kind of exciting match. I like it. I don't know. I'm looking forward to that. There's my answer.
I think it'll be strong. I think Turtle has a lot to prove for himself in this playoffs. And if he can actually like take some games off of Cloud9 before going to the losers bracket, I feel like it'll be a pretty good showing for him. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I see a big raffle stomp coming in. All right, let's talk about these games more individually.
No,
how dare you?
Wait a minute. Y'all never called me out for talking about FlyQuest versus what is it? FlyQuest versus Golden Guardians in the bot lane. I goddamn missed that. What? Okay.
I was trying to think about what I was saying.
I was talking about how Sven and Vulcan would match up against FBI and Huhi.
Hey, you're just thinking about the future. Let's talk about Fly versus C9 now. So, I'm thinking... I'm looking at this game in all their individual lanes, and I don't feel like there's much of a challenge for Cloud9, like, matchup to matchup. I don't think that anyone on Golden Guardians is a better player than their counterpart on C9, like bar none. Even the coaching staff. I feel like Reaper is a much better coach than the Fly coaching staff.
I would have to say that even though C9 at their peaks is better than FlyQuest, FlyQuest has been consistently solid. I believe there were maybe 2 weeks where they were off, and then they got back on their train when they had Mashin. But otherwise, I think that Solo can probably beat Licorice right now in the state that he was in, or at least the state that we was in when the LCS finished. I think that PoE versus Niski is currently even, which is not something that I would have said before. And I think that
wow.
Yeah, it's not something I would.
Did you hear that one, Anthony?
Yeah, I kind of agree with it. I think the mid lane is definitely a much more even place than it would have been in the past.
Yeah, but you literally just said there's no.
Right, I do think Niski is better, but I think it's much closer than it used to be. Last split, I would have been like, no, PoE's a little bitch who's gonna get smacked around by Niski. In fact, I think I said it on this show.
And then it's not like I said, Vulcan still got a couple of picks that are meta that aren't as hot as they're supposed to be, that aren't at that level that you'd want from one of the best supports in the league. And I think Ignar's also been labbing for a bit. There was that controversy where FlyQuest and TSM weren't scrimming C9 near the end of the split, and I think the reason for that is because
C9's too good and they wanted to stop losing.
Well,
you. That's specifically directed at FlyQuest.
That's specifically directed at FlyQuest. That's also so that they can get away with thinking of some crazy picks that they can pull out. I don't think that FlyQuest is as innovative as Golden Guardians, but I think they innovate a little bit at a time. You'll find something.
All right, Matt, what's your take on this this game?
I'm pretty sure C9's gonna win.
Why?
Well, I was getting to that, but thank you for the segue. Really, what I'm doing is trying to find the dot. Yeah, there we go. Found him. Why? A lot like you, Anthony. I think that C9 just has an edge in basically every lane. I do think Turtle is a very good AD carry, but I don't think he's currently playing at Sven's level. You know, if it was like old TSM Turtle, right? Maybe there'd be, an issue there, but it's not. It's current FlyQuest Turtle.
You know, old TSM Turtle who used to win championships all the time. You know, that guy.
He never won anything. No.
Why are you disrespecting the Turtle? He's wild.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I would never disrespect Turtle ever. I just don't think he's like as good as Sven at the moment. And I just don't think like anywhere else. I just think Licorice is a huge edge top. I think Blabber, if he's playing reasonably and not sort of like going in and making sort of like questionable calls, is probably just like good enough with his team, and the team on the whole is just good enough that C9 can just choke it out. I would not be surprised if Fly takes a game, because I don't think Fly is like dog shit. Right? I think they are a pretty solid team. So I would not be surprised if it goes 3-1 or even 3-2. I do, however, just believe C9 is, on the whole, a stronger team in more or less every role and sort of collectively as well.
I'm gonna retract one thing I said. I don't think C9
Nope,
is better.
Not allowed. No backseat. C9's the best team in the league. We all heard you say it. Keep going.
Is better than Blabber by quite a lot.
No, he's not. He's not.
I have just remembered that Santorin has been looking crazy this split, and how Blabber has kind of fallen apart and gotten a little bit exposed when he's not allowed to play the same 3 champions over and over again. So, there's that. But yeah, I think that's basically this whole thing. I don't suspect anything too strange meta-wise here. I guess the craziest thing we might see is something very strange for Blabber. I get the feeling that Nidalee will be a highly contested pick in the series, but I don't think it's good. I think it's a bad choice for a contested pick, but whatever. I'm not an LCS coach. What do I know besides that she has awful team fighting in an awful late game, and her ganks are subpar to even other champions. But
I don't think if we're gonna see a Nidalee, it's probably gonna be from Blabber. I don't think we've ever seen Santorin pull out a Nidalee this split. and most of the time,
but he knows he has one though.
I guarantee you
he has one. Him and Solo can probably play around it very well, but it's figuring out how it works into the late game and such. I don't think they've really fleshed that part out. I think now he's finally proven that he has a Graves in the EG series, because he'd never got an opportunity to really show that it works. The last time he picked it was during those 2 weeks where he was down. So I think Graves would probably be more of a contested pick between him and Blabber. I think the Nidalee's solely for Blabber currently.
Yeah, I think I agree. Graves is actually another highly contested pick, basically overall, because it seems like there's a lot of aggressive Graves player. Like, since Garen plays it pretty well, I think Spica's got an okay Graves. Dude, who are the other fucking junglers? I don't know about Closer's Graves. I haven't seen it like be too crazy, but I know Dardoch was pretty good on Graves. I bet you Brox has got a decent Graves, but I think that Brox has other characters he's even better with. So I just feel like that's a more generalized one. I think Nidalee will be much more focused this champion select in this series. All right, let's talk about GG versus TL real quick before we close out the show.
Okay.
All right, the show will go on forever because Matt has said so. All right,
I ruled by decree.
Let me out.
Fuck you.
I have to work tomorrow. Oh wait, I can work from home. It's all right.
So we got GG versus EG. GG versus EG. No, that's happening later. Maybe. GG versus TL. Now, I definitely think Team Liquid's gonna win this one, but I think it'll be close. Hey, Mom, how you feeling about this one?
I think it's not even going to be close. I think it's going to look close in the beginning, and then TL is going to have some sort of resurgence at the end. That's what I think is going to happen.
Bold.
Every game.
Every game is going to be early game for GG, late game for TL? That's how you're feeling?
It's going to look like slightly GG favored or heavily GG favored, and then TL's just going to wipe it back.
Well,
I have faith that they can do that.
Just say. Matt, how you feeling about this one?
Haymant was in the middle of a sentence, it sounded like, so I'm going to let him finish it.
Was he?
No, I'm good. I'm
honestly, on my end, it sounded a lot like Anthony cut you off, so I was just gonna... Listen, what I actually think is going to happen is TL is going to win this series fairly easily. I have it at 3-1, because you never know, and GG did just 3-0 TSM. Now, in the cosmic gift of a dream, like the cosmic dream I'm having, though, what I want more than anything is for GG to 3-0 TL.
That'll just shake up the entirety of playoffs. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's why I want it. And also, it would be funny. I don't think it'll happen, but I also didn't think it would happen last time. So I don't know. But I do think TL's probably got it. Well, not probably. I think TL definitely has an edge here.
So the winner of these two series gets a spot at Worlds. Whoever the two teams that win this are guaranteed to go to Worlds. The spot is undecided because they get to play down to third, but that means you want Golden Guardians to go to Worlds. Is that what you want deep down in your heart?
Yeah, it'd be really funny.
What kind of funny? Funny like 4th place 100 Thieves going to Worlds, or funny like 4th place CLG going to Worlds?
Undecided. Ask again later.
Because both of those are enraging, not funny. Okay. What I think is going to happen
I laugh at you when you get mad, so...
Shut up! Alright, I think this is going to be the closest match of playoffs so far. I think that they're going to start trading games. They're going to start pulling out strategies. This is where teams will probably pull out all the stops, because this is a spot at Worlds regardless of what happens. And I think that this is the best place to do it. In that sense, I agree with you that pulling out the Ziggs probably hurts them here, but I don't know if they would have gotten here without that kind of play. So if they have something else, I think that it will definitely help them. And I think they'll catch TL out a couple of times. but I don't see them being able to get TL's number hard enough that they'll win this series. I think they're gonna fall down to play TSM again, and TSM's gonna smack them the second time.
Oh, do you know what would be hilarious?
What?
If Damonte pulls out Vigar.
I will. What? Why would that be hilarious?
Solely because if Jensen picks last split, TL was picked apart by Niski's Vigar. I'm not saying that's going to be.
So was everyone. Everyone was picked apart by whatever the fuck Niski picked.
That is true, but I would find it especially hilarious if Jensen locks in Azir and then Damonte just goes Vigar.
Alright.
That's what I would love to see.